So what is this? We're just now getting it. Is this to extend the contract or a new contract
No,
for
this
police in Vanderbilt?
this is totally different than where we have F&V, who is actually our backup operator in charge, as well as filling in as our lab supervisor until we get someone to fill this. This is actually a mandate to have an asset management and water reliability study.
It's hard to hear you.
Can you, I was just going to say, get closer to the mic, thank you.
Okay. Yeah, this doesn't have anything to do with F&V managing the water plant. This is an actual mandate through EGLE and EPA to have an asset management and water reliability study plan.
So is this a part of the Arcadis report of the ACO?
It was part of that, yes, as the asset management when Arcadis did it in 2017.
Okay,
yes.
we are just now getting this today, and you can't drive and read.
Understandable.
So I wanna read this, because it's quite a bit.
Yes.
Yeah, it's quite a bit. And so, and I'm not gonna force myself with everything. Is this time sensitive, Ms. Gray?
It is. This study is supposed to be completed by the end of the year.
Okay. So if we put it off for 2 weeks, I don't know, when do we leave to go?
You're gonna put it to the
leave
middle of
for?
July.
We only have one, we have a council meeting Monday, and then we don't come back until the middle of July.
So we have Monday, and then we're off
Just a
until,
second, let me look at my calendar.
thank you.
Our next committee meeting is the 23rd. Is that correct, Madam Clerk? That's what I see, because it's supposed to be the fourth Monday. So it'd be our next meeting is the 23rd.
That is correct.
Okay, so starting from Monday and then to the 23rd. Yolanda, if we put this back to the end, because I really want to read it, is that going to cause a problem, as long as we have it done before the end?
It shouldn't, and if it does, we'll
Yeah,
probably have
so
to
you
ask
have
for
an
an
end of-
extension. Yeah.
End of the year, because I know I've got some questions, and thank you for being here.
You're welcome.
I appreciate that. So I'm gonna let my colleagues, I don't know where they're at. I'm not gonna, I wanna support it after I get a chance. We got a mountain over here. After I can get a chance to read it, and because we only have one more meeting because we're off, I think we should still be good, because you said until the end of the year.
Yes.
And we can put it on, I don't know what my colleagues want to do, but I'm going to support to be putting it on our next committee meeting, which will be, I think, Judy said the 23rd. But I'll let my colleagues, I'll yield the floor so they can ask questions.
Madam Chair,
Go ahead.
thank you. This being committee, meaning that we will have a special affairs and council meeting on the
I'm not going to be available.
fourth Monday, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. So, I think that if our colleagues have an issue voting on it tonight, then we can just move it to Monday. It'll give us, if today's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, give us about 5 days to get the information, ask the questions that we need. So I would definitely like the rest. I don't know if my colleagues want to speak, but I'll go ahead and yield the time, and maybe in the next round, we can make a motion to put this in special affairs, since my colleagues would like more time to take a look at this. I know I don't want to hold things up,
No problem.
because, we're not going to be back after Monday. You won't see us back, you won't see me back, per resolution, till the middle of the / end
23rd
of
of
July.
July.
Thank you, that part, 23rd of July. So we want to go ahead and get you together while we can.
Yes.
So, again, yeah, thank you so much for standing and being here.
You're
I yield the floor.
Thank you. Any other discussion on the first round?
Madam Clerk, was this one of the 7 that we received today?
Excuse me, ma'am.
I'm sorry.
Through me to the clerk?
Absolutely.
Thank you. You
No
can
problem.
go
Madam
ahead.
Chair, through you to the clerk.
Go ahead.
Madam Clerk.
I'm sorry, just one moment.
Mm-hmm.
Our time's ticking, Davina.
She's checking to see if it was on there, guys, verifying.
This is the Fleiss and Vanderbrink.
Yes.
This was one that was sent to you on Monday.
We had it since Monday. Thank you. I just wanted to confirm. I am fine with my colleagues needing to go over something that we've had for a little minute now. I do understand that folks like to read. I just want to make sure we're clear that we had time to read. I also want to just really quickly ask our colleagues, just as a favor, because I understand when we separate things, we know why we've separated them, and nobody else necessarily knows our intention. So if it's something that you separated, if you're going to leave it here, send it forward, do whatever with it, if you could please take the floor and do whatever your intention was with it, because I don't want to take the floor and assume you were trying to do something with something you separated that you weren't trying to do with it. So I just want to make sure that I'm being respectful of your separations as we move forward in the meeting. I yield.
Thank you. Any other discussion in the first round?
Yeah, I just,
Go
I
ahead.
want to speak, Madam Chair, I want to speak to what the councilwoman in the 7th Ward just said. Look, if I want to separate any item on an agenda, just to separate it, just to ask one question, I can. I didn't understand where you were coming from with what you just said.
Point
need
of
to be,
information. Point of information.
What's your point?
Point of information. I want to answer a question because I literally just said I want to be respectful of your separations and not
Well-
send it somewhere that you might not have wanted sent. That's what I was saying. My point was,
Oh,
I didn't want to
okay.
take the floor and be like, send it here. If you were going to say, no, I want to postpone it, or if you were going to say, I want to leave it here, I
Well,
didn't want to say, send it to
and
council.
I think what should happen too with that, you should always probably ask the chairperson of that committee, hey, you know, is it all right to send it to your committee, well, whatever committee it should go to, or special affairs, whichever one. So either one won't get overloaded, because we don't want special affairs is just a stop through, you know, whereas. Right, yeah. And we shouldn't be in special affairs too long. Yeah, we just needed to clear that up. I just wanted to understand that. I did have one question as far as this resolution. What is the scope of the work that is supposed to be done?
Well, the scope of the work is to actually assess all the assets that are 50 years or older. That means the underground water infrastructure. It will also consist of, as the water reliability study is mandated every 5 years, to make sure that we're adequate as it comes to our actual water pressure. And from there, after a study is done, it will then be submitted to EGLE to make sure the improvements that F&V has suggested meet, I guess, their quota, and then we'll move on from there as to what the study predicts for us to do.
Did we have this study, this plan done before?
We've had, it's mandated every 5 years, we
Yeah,
have a water
it seemed like-
reliability. So this is, again, 5 years. 5 years from now, which will be 2030, another water reliability study will take place. The asset management is something else that needed to take place. In 2017, Arcadis came up with that we need to have an asset
Right.
management plan. So this is where they're taking off from the actual advice that Arcadis had presented to us.
Okay. All right, thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Any other discussion in the first round? I'll take a few minutes. I did read this in the packet when we got it on Monday. I did see where it's supposed to be every 5 years. It's been 11 years, I believe, since we did it, 2014.
Close to that, yes.
So it's way overdue.
Yes.
If we hold off until the 23rd, well, it wouldn't even be approved until the following, I think that's the 28th of July. Would that give enough time to get the study done?
Now, we will come back Monday to discuss this resolution again? Will it be approved then?
It depends on if it goes to, if it stays in finance, then we're not talking till July 23rd. If it goes to special affairs, then it goes on Monday. Well, we approved it, it's up to the members of the body.
Okay, I'm not for sure how long it will take for F&V to actually implement their study. I'm not for sure if they've actually stated, well, if you approve it on this day, we need this certain amount of time. So I can't say yes or no. We'll just have to go by what the body feels.
And there's
we
no
need to.
contract signed or anything, because we haven't approved it.
No, I can't enter into a contract until you
So
approve.
you're taking, talking a month, so we might not be starting this until end of August.
Yes.
That doesn't give them much time. So seeing, I mean, like I said, I've read this, I knew what it was coming in. We didn't get all of the resolutions for this meeting, but we had six or eight, I can't remember how many actually came in that email. But, so I'm in favor of this because we do need to get this done. And we do have 6 months. What my colleagues want to do with it, if they want to send it to special affairs or what, I'll wait and see what they want to do in the next round. But I don't think we should hold it because it's got a deadline and a timeline. Yeah, you can say it's at the end of December, but you've got to remember how long it takes the city to get contracts done and get the work started and then get the reports back. That all takes time. So I'm going to go ahead and go into the second round.
Madam Chair.
Go ahead.
So I'm going to say this, I'm still not voting on it. And I'm going to tell you why, because I don't know if they read the ACO, the Administrative Consider, I did. And I also read the Arcadis report, which also goes with this. And so how quick I read the Arcadis, the ACO is almost 180 pages. And it has an index, you got probably 200. It is pretty thick, and I've read it. And the Arcadis report is, I think, 77 pages, 77 or 78, or I'm sorry, 64, well, no, it's a little bit more than that. And so I'm not rushing to do something that if it took all this time, I'm not doing it. I'm simply not, now we got everything they want to rush and how quick we read. Well, I'm gonna take my time and read it and write my notes so that I can ask intelligent questions, because the reason why people didn't ask questions before, which is why we had a water crisis. I'm not going to rush through this and act as if, oh, it's so important. Because it was so important, we did it last year, the year before last, or whenever. But there's questions that I do have. Do we have a DPW director right now? We do not.
No.
We do not. And so I'm not rushing through this, and, you know, because that timeline with the July off, which probably everybody needs it. I know our police force don't mind not being here at all. And so for me, I read, and I want my time to read. Now, they can vote on it if they want to, but I know it goes with the administrative consent order, which is almost 200 pages. It goes with the Arcadis report, that's almost 70-some pages, and then we got this. So don't tell me on a Monday what Tanya Burns should be doing through her week, because I take my time and read. You're not gonna rush me to read nothing. Nothing. This city for 18 months had water that was poisoned, and they told them that the brown, don't worry about it, that the little bit of rust, don't worry about it, that it smelled foul, smelled like eggs, it didn't matter. So I'm not rushing to do this. I want to know what it is I'm reading, so I can, my vote is the vote that's going to make sure I get the information that I need and tie in the three reports together. And so that's my decision, my choice. And I'm not rushing through it, and we don't have a DPW. I mean, who can, and you are out of accounting. You're the head accountant, senior accountant.
Yes.
And so we have and in no disrespect, it should be a DPW being up here, not our senior accountant. It is unfair to have you, because you're not a project manager for these type of projects. Not at all. And so, I'm not until I can read and try to contact some other people to educate me further who have worked in this field doing this. So my vote is, if they can pass it if they want to, Tanya Burns is a no tonight. This city already been poisoned because people want to rush and worry about deadlines and other stuff. I'm not rushing, no.
Any other discussion in the second round?
Madam Chair.
Go ahead.
Thank you. So in the spirit of all fairness, I heard my colleague said that she reads, and if that was the case, she would have read it that was in her inbox on Monday. And so
Yeah,
we
keep a
have.
Point of order.
What's your
A
point?
request for- I may be a slow reader, like you were
Uh,
slow
uh,
at comprehending.
That's,
That,
ma'am, that's through the chair. Go ahead. What were you saying? Okay, because I was going to rule that as an improper point. Go
As
ahead.
it was, thank you. And so, we had this since Monday. And, you know, and when I hear, you know, having time to read and et cetera, you know, well, we got 3 to 4 hours to sit up online on a podcast. And so we must redirect our energies towards the business of the people. And the business of the people is, excuse me,
All right.
and the business of the people is to tend to the agenda that we received. And on Monday, we received the information for this, so this is not just a last-minute read. And even if it is, you know, we took the oath to do all things necessary to move the business of the city of Flint forward. And so, to say that.
Request for
so-
information.
What's your request?
Does she realize that we do not even have a DPW that can
That's-
answer questions
That's
here
an
today?
improper request. Go ahead.
Thank you. I appreciate the representative that's coming before us to answer questions and to also let us know about the importance of voting for this before we take our 1-month vacation. I don't see, and it's also a little disheartening to hear colleagues state that they're just not going to vote for it, period. Now, it will be kind to help us move this to special affairs, so Mr. Pfeiffer, so Mr. El Alamein, so we all could get an opportunity to move it forward if that's what they so choose to do. But I don't think it's fair to sit in this seat in good faith and say, well, we don't have time to do when we see it daily, how time is spent. So not coming for anyone, but just coming for the truth and the transparency that we say that we believe in. So it is my goal, and I don't know if anyone else would like to speak. And so if you would like to speak, just raise your hand.
I want to speak.
Okay, very well. But I would like to I would like to compel my colleagues to please, let's move this on to special affairs so everyone will have an opportunity to read what's happening, to send any email correspondence between now and then, so we can get the business of the city handled. And also, I echo the sentiments of Councilwoman Mashat, and what she was saying is, if we separate something, don't wait for your colleagues to put a motion on the floor for it, because we don't know what you want. So if you separate it for a reason. So if you separated resolution ... when you hear that resolution named or called by the chair, go ahead and jump in and state how you would like that motion to go, because it is unfair, and it also appears to be a waste of time.
You already had one warning. Go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Priestley.
Is there any,
Yes, Madam Chair.
go ahead. Sorry, I knew that.
You know what, I'm just gonna say this. We did get some resolutions on Monday at 12:50 p.m. The council meeting is today on Wednesday, started at 5 o'clock. By right, we should have received our resolutions, our agenda, probably on Friday, so that we could have had the weekend to look over things. I work a full-time job, so I have to do my job. I don't have time on a Monday evening or whatever. I did look at everything, but to just thoroughly go through and read, I did come up with some questions. However, this is a lot of information to go through, particularly when it deals with our water system. I'm going to be very careful when it comes to that. Okay? We were in a water crisis, and we still in crisis. It hasn't been totally cleared up. So my vote, I'm not gonna sit here and let somebody tell me when I should be reading. I do my job. I've been sitting here since 2017. But I do know that we need to start getting our agendas earlier. It's ridiculous. But I'm not gonna allow one of my colleagues to tell me what I need to be doing. I do enough. I'm taking calls from every ward, trying to help people. So with that, I'm gonna make a motion that we leave this resolution in Finance Committee.
There's a motion on the floor to keep Resolution 250198 in finance. Is there support? Supported by the councilwoman in the 6th Ward. This is the vote
This already separated.
to keep Resolution 250198 in finance.
We didn't get that till today. So you didn't have this to read on Monday.
Ms. Mashat.
Yes.
Mr. Jarrett.
Yes.
And this part is gonna go.
Dr. Lewis.
No.
Ms. Priestley.
Yes.
Ms. Winfrey Carter.
Yes.
Ms. Barnes.
Yes.
The vote is 5 yes, 1 no.
The vote is 5 yes, 1 no. That stays in finance.